Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I'm your host, the Housecoat Gamer, and today we are taking a look at the Shangri-La class warship. Though I will be mentioning that this really doesn't fit as a pocket battleship. It's more of a fast cruiser, and I will be addressing it as such. The Constitution class program was in dire straits. The ships were getting old, and, well, they were getting dated. Despite the modernization program, projections were that the most valuable class in the fleet wasn't going to be able to keep up with modernization efforts, at least not without extreme measures being taken. And that was going to be unlikely. Surplus to requirements and all that. Ergo, it was decided to incorporate at least some of the technologies of the Excelsior class into two different variants. One would be a Constitution-esque design, which would be used as a slightly scaled up command cruiser, which would be later called the Lexington class. Later redesignated Lexington 1 after the introduction of the Yorktown-derived Lexington-class dreadnought. The second ship was more derived from the Constitution class, though elements of it would be taken from the Excelsior program. This vessel would be named after a mythological paradise in Chinese mythology, Shangri-La. Thus, almost every starship of the class would be named after such mythological places. For example, if the Romulans had joined the Federation, Vortavor would have been a name for the ship. One such vessel, USS Shangri, would actually be deployed during Wolf 359. One outlier was USS Titan, NCC 2777. Remember, anything that has a registry code below it is a gaff. Just look at the Prometheus class. This ship was commanded by Captain Savick formerly of the USS Enterprise. You've seen the first two, movie 2 and 3. While the USS Enterprise A was no longer worthy of flagship status. After all, she was an older Constitution-class starship, and, well, the Enterprise B was going to be on the way very soon. Because the ship was newer, more advanced, and, well, utilized technologies from the Excelsior program, the Shangri-La class was kept in production and service much longer than most other starships, though she was quickly outnumbered by Excelsior and Miranda-class vessels. The Shangri-La, despite all of this, would serve well until Wolf 359. And as we all know, Wolf 359 is the death knell of many starship classes. The Shangri-La class was originally a fan-made starship made for the Star Trek Ships of the Line calendar. However, I actually prefer the original version. It doesn't have these stupid extensions here. and instead has simple cutouts on the saucer section, presumably for extended warp flight, which is why I refer to this as a fast cruiser. It has the saucer shape of an SFB fast cruiser, though that one's more triangular. Still, this matches the profile, ergo, if shoe fits, you wear it. The Shangri-La is a Constitution, is a skin for the Constitution family, meaning if you want to use a Phase 2 version, if you have the Legendary version, have fun. Or if you want an Exeter with more teeth. Or a Connie that screams, "I'm going to kill you and you're not going to like it." Or, well, a Connie. I have to say, I'm not a fan of the Type 01, Type 0A. I prefer the original version. Smithsonian one just looks wrong. Anyway, stats. This is the first Connie, at least the first proper Connie, we don't talk about the STD version, that is different than a cruiser. She is in fact a command warship, which means command abilities and, well, dual cannon capabilities. Original tooltip says she has a 5.2 layout, but apparently they screwed up. She's got a 5.3, at least as of this recording. For all I know, they're going to screw it up in the next patch. So enjoy the site while you can. Unless they screw it up in the blog, in which case, again, anyway, 4 engineering, fitting, she was derived from a cruiser, 2 science, and 5 tactical. As always, when it comes to ships that come from these bundles, I gave this thing one of its T6X tokens. And as a warship, Commander Tactical Command, Lieutenant Commander Pilot Tactical, Lieutenant Commander Engineering, and an Ensign Universal and a Lieutenant Universal. Just in case you want to use command or pilot abilities and you want want to get that firepower back. Her stats, of course, are derived from the Constitution. So, if you've flown a Connie, you know how to fly this thing. All you have to do is just keep its bow on the target. For maximum damage output. Cleared for action is a bit of an issue. As some people have pointed out, when activating evasive maneuvers, it flickers. So, this could potentially have some problems. Might be patched out, might not. Deca hasn't exactly been giving me any reason to have any faith in them recently. See my vid on how they handled releasing this bundle. As for its console, sequential warhead loader. Essentially, it fires a few more torpedoes. First torpedo knocks shields offline. Potentially useful for massive dreadnought class vessels with absurd levels of shielding that you can't get through. Second shot deals some damage. Third shot does AoE damage. 2-minute recharge. Potentially useful. But who the hell am I kidding? People are going to abuse this in elite level stuff. After all, knocking out shields on a dreadnought? Who is going to argue with that? Regardless, I'm just happy that there's a proper Tier 6 Constitution that isn't stuck in the Legendary and the 10th Anniversary bundle. That alone makes it worth it. The fact that it's basically the toothiest Constitution ever makes it even better. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to mention the STD Connie. The Mirror Warship, that is. That would be its closest equivalent to, well, this thing. They have more or less the same stats. One of them is just a lot uglier. Not that the STD Connie is particularly aesthetically pleasing to begin with. You don't try to improve on perfection. Anyway, it's worth getting just because it's a Connie. It's got more firepower than most Connies, but that's all the reason you need to get it. It's a Connie. And that is all. Housecoat Gaming, signing off.